So today I'm going to talk about my septum piercing. So I thought I'd answer a few of the questions that I got sent in through DM on my Instagram account. You can go follow me here if you would like to. If not, it's fine, because, you know. So I got asked a few questions after putting up a picture of my new septum piercing about the process, how much it cost, and just the general how it went. Now the story of when I got my piercing was it was one of my friend's birthdays and she wanted to get a nose ring or a nose stud. A few days later we decided to go get our piercings and we went to a local piercer that we all trust before. I definitely recommend her. She does all my piercings, changes my jewelry, she looks after all the little bits of piercings that I have on my body. So we walked in and altogether the process was pretty easy. It is healed completely well. So I'll show you the piercing a little bit up close just to show you what it really looks like on my face. Now the first question that I got kind of made me laugh, and it is, did it hurt? Okay. Now the piercing definitely did hurt. I did feel it. My friend Brooke held my hand and she was very interested, which is kind of weird. I remember opening my eyes when my eyes were spasming and it was so sore, and I just see her face like,
oh, that's interesting.
So I was just like, Brooke, please stop this. I'm basically dying. My nose is probably gonna fall off. Now everyone's pain tolerance is different. I'm sure if you got it and it didn't feel like much, that's because you're kind of a hard ass, and I'm not. I'm just kind of like... Now another question I got is, should I have my septum pierced? Well, personally, I don't know how I can help you with that because it is your face. I think you should choose if you want to modify your body or change something, and I also feel like if someone said no, you can't do that and you want to, just do it. It's your body. I mean, I find it very annoying when people are like, oh, that makes her look ugly, or oh, whatever. If it gives you confidence, then do it. I mean, confidence is one of the most beautiful things on a person, and septum piercings are cool. Any piercing's cool. Just do what you want. Follow your dreams, okay? So out of 10, the piercing was probably about an 8. It was a really weird experience. When the needle went in, it almost hurt in my eyes and spasmed. I've had another friend who said it almost felt like her eyes rolled back. It was very hard to open my eyes afterwards just because it looked like I was crying, just because of how watery your eyes get, but afterwards I felt no pain. I don't know if it's adrenaline, but it took about 2 days for it to really kick in and hurt. My nose did swell a little bit in the inside around here. It was very hard to touch my nose and blow it. It was only for a week, and then afterwards it went down. It wasn't noticeable, but yeah, you do experience a little bit of swelling, or at least I did. Now I definitely recommend during the healing process, as much as you clean it and stuff, you take paracetamol or ibuprofen or whatever drugs, okay, you know, painkillers with you, just because it does get painful. Me personally, it ached on my nose, and I was in class and I couldn't concentrate because I was like, oh my god, my nose is falling off, like, what is happening to my face? Now I got told that a septum piercing takes about a month to heal. After a month I did get my jewelry changed. I had my piercer look at my septum and she said it was perfect, it can get changed. Just keep, you know, at cleaning it and making sure everything is spick and span and shiny clean. So another question that I got, is it a very dangerous piercing? Now, every piercing could be dangerous. You have to treat it with care and the best way you can, because obviously if you pull it out, if you give it an infection, it's gonna hurt, and we don't want to go through that pain again, do we? Sometimes the other The other drawback of having a septum piercing is if you rub your nose or if you're just fiddling, which you shouldn't do because you'll get infections and your nose will fall off, sometimes it ends up wonky and you end up looking a bit funny, especially with a horseshoe. But if you're really worried about that, I'm sure you can get a hoop or a banana bar and hide it. But personally, I find it a very quirky trait of having a septum piercing. Now, I don't know about other people, but in the UK, if you have an ID saying you're 16, you can get a piercing without parents' consent. Now, I know every laws are different in certain countries and certain piercing parlors, but that is what I have experienced. I am 17 at the moment, so it was quite easy to go in and say, hey, can I have a septum piercing on my face, please? Now, a few people asked how much it actually cost. It cost about, how much did it cost? It's about £25 with the piercing place I went. I know that other places where I live are way more expensive than that, and I wouldn't exactly go for a cheaper price exactly, but the experience and quality of the piercer who's doing it. Now, another question I got was, how was the healing process? I personally had no issues with it healing or infection or anything like that. I've never really had anything wrong with any of the piercings that I have. All I do is use antibacterial. Is it antibacterial or is that like wrong? I don't know. All I use is antibacterial wipes, which cleans everything really easy, and I usually do it on the go if something, you know, daily clean. I also make sure I wash all my jewelry in the shower. I also use a hot water soak with salt in it just to make sure everything is clean and will, you know, heal healthy. I do definitely recommend you clean your jewelry. Like, nobody wants to be that person with the manky infected nose or ear or face. Just clean it, because it would be weird. It just don't. Now, another question I got, which I'm not trying to take it to offense, but I got a question saying, will septum piercings look well on big noses? Now, I don't consider myself as having a big nose, but I know this bad boy's a bit curvy, which I have grown to love, and I think everyone should love their noses, big, small, curvy, flat, round, purple. You gotta love yourself, man. Just, woo! Okay, so how to hide this piercing from parents? Now, I do not recommend getting a piercing if you have to hide it. I feel like if you want this piercing and you are at a point where you can and you got the money for it and you're over the age where you don't need a parent's consent, I feel like you should be allowed to look how you want. It's just how I feel. I mean, half the things my parents don't exactly agree with me doing with my body, but I do it anyway because it's what makes me happy. And if I want to look like that, I will look like that. But I have to respect the fact that I had to wait until I finished school. Well, actually no, I didn't. I actually had a few piercings. But I did have to respect the fact of what my parents wanted, but once I got to an age where I could do it, I took on their advice, but also I kind of did what I want. Now, is it easy to hide? I feel personally that this is the most easiest piercing to hide. When I first got this piercing pierced, I had it in a banana bar. I definitely recommend a banana bar if you're trying to hide this piercing for work or whatever, or if you're just not too sure if it will suit you yet, so you're just getting used to it. It was easy to just pick it up and pluck it in. Now, I can't do it with this horseshoe that I'm wearing right now, but I can't do it with the horseshoe that I'm wearing now, but before, when I had a banana bar, I could just take it, twitch it over, and it would look like nothing's there. It wasn't painful to do it, it was really easy to hide, and if it's for work or whatever, you can change it into a retainer or just a banana bar. I think it's a really easy piercing to look after and to hide if you're wanting to hide it. But I am just kind of living in this little horseshoe. I think it looks nice on my face and I really enjoy this piercing a lot. Now I got another question about removal. There will be no scarring really that you can see of the septum piercing. If I take it out, you will see the hole and it will close eventually. It's not something that's always gonna be in my nose unless I did stretch up, which I'm not planning to just because I don't think I can go through that pain again. So yeah, it will close up eventually and there's nothing much to it. I mean, if I wanted it to go away and everyone knows I never had one before, I could do that, but I really love it, so I will keeping it for the time being. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Yay!